all this will go, but let's see how far we can get with this and try to get some sort of discussion going on, some kind of edification has been trying to do with you um, on these topical issues. So let's start out. I think I am on Facebook, um, and I think we are also on YouTube. But I want to also make sure that we were also on another forum as you guys join. I'll try and get that going. Probably the Facebook should be done because you have YouTube. Let me try to get Facebook since I already have that. Anyone seeing me on TikTok? Just say, I'm seeing you on TikTok, Albert. I'm seeing you on TikTok. So that way I know I have you on there. And now we try to get you on. Are you seeing me on TikTok, please? Please let me know. Because I want to get as much out of this as possible for the folks out there without having to repeat myself. So please indicate to me that you're seeing me on TikTok. And now I'm going to see if you're seeing me on Facebook. So let's get this Facebook going. Trying to do a lot of things here at the same time. Bear with me. Uh, Trying to get us live going here on Facebook. Live. Um, next. Okay. It takes. Okay, let's go live now on Facebook also. Albert Baldeo. You can go to Albert Baldeo on Facebook and see me there. You can also go on TikTok and see me there. And you can also see me simultaneously on YouTube. Now let's go to today. What happened? Today we buried our daughter and our great sister, Angela Sarah Rampersad, a Trinidadian 28-year-old who died in the service of this great nation. She joined the army at 21 years old, went on a number of tours. On this last tour in Jordan, she did not come back alive. She was killed in the service and in sacrifice to make America safe. We bleed with our family. We are prayerful. We think a lot about the love that she has for this great country, unsurpassed, unrivaled, matched any patriotism in the world. We are proud of her, and we thank her for the service she has given to her country to keep America safe. The issue of whether these wars are necessary has inevitably come up. Many have criticized, why are we in these wars? What is in this for us? Why are we sacrificing our children in needless wars? They are legitimate questions, and we will address that at another forum. Suffice it to say, at this point in time, we thank our sister for setting the bar very high, for letting those who look down upon us as immigrants and those of people of color and who feel that we don't belong here. Sarah Ramprasad emphasized to the world that we are as great as any other American, that we are the true Americans, that we are patriotic Americans, that we love our country, that we pay taxes in this country, that we stand up and fight for America's freedoms, that we fight to preserve that which has been won over centuries. And by that token, she has made us very, very proud. And we thank you very much. Staff Sergeant, she was posthumously promoted to Staff Sergeant from Sergeant. 28 years old, lives in Ozone Park. I was at a wake, I was at a funeral. Thank God for her. May God bless her soul. May the Almighty have mercy upon all of us. May the Almighty have mercy on those who send our children to war also when they die. And don't come back. I'll come back in a casket. And as you know, at the Air Force Base, President Trump was there to welcome the family, to pay tribute to them. And I want every American to know, whether you're white, brown, black, blue, or yellow, or whatever color you may be, we have earned the right to be treated fairly as Americans, just as everybody else. We have earned that right. We have worked for that right. Our children have fought for America. They have died in these wars. And by that token, by that sacrifice, we also belong. And we don't want anybody to tell us that we don't belong, because that is not going to work. We're not going to take that anymore. And we're not going to allow that to continue. We deserve as much credit, as much gratitude, and as much thank you from top to bottom in America. And never let anybody put you down, because the sacrifices have been made by our children, by our neighbors, by our nieces, by our nephews, by all of us. So we stand proudly and always stand as Americans, proud Americans. Too often you put yourself down. Too often you feel inferior. Too often you don't even go out to vote. Too often you don't even support your own. Brothers and sisters, that is the reason why you're treated as second-class citizens. We are the only people who do not have political representation in New York City. Trinidadians and Guyanese. Everybody else got Haiti, India, Pakistan, China, Korea, all over the world. Everybody's come here and made it. But there's something about us, lots of us, that don't go out and vote. So I don't want to dwell too much on that tonight. I want to encourage you to go out and vote, be civic-minded, raise your voices. You have the freedom of speech here, and you must continue to do that. And God bless Sarah, Angela, or Angie, Angel, Sarah Rampersad, who has made us proud. We grieve with the family. We offer deepest condolences to the mother who is crying and who's very, very cut up, and understandably so, as a mother who's lost her child. That we thank her, we respect her, we pay tribute to the sacrifices that her daughter has made. The greatest sacrifice known to Americans and to the world is that she has made us proud. So, brothers and sisters, across all these mediums that I'm broadcasting from, Albert Baldeo, the district leader and the community advocate, and the person who's been elected, the first person to be elected to office in this community here, the first Indo-Guyanese, Indo-Trinidad, Indo-Caribbean, West Indian here in New York City, put us on the map. Little India, little Guyana, little Suriname, little Bangladesh, and little Guyana. I stand proudly here to exchange and to bring news and views to you. Hopefully you've had a good dinner, so we can now discuss some of the issues. Now, that's the first issue, paying tribute to Angel Sarah Rampersad. God bless her soul. The second thing I want to talk about is I want to compliment President Ali. I want to compliment President Ali for this singular first step. The first step, he said, is he's going to establish a safety and compliance audit team. He's going to establish a safety and compliance audit team. And I hope he's going to do that tomorrow. As part of government's continued response measures to strengthen maritime safety and prevent further tragedies, I've established a safety and compliance audit team to undertake a comprehensive review of the safety and compliance standards governing marine vessels operating in Guyana. I also wanted to be extended, President Ali, because apparently you do listen to what I say, because I did suggest this. I want you, President Ali, to also extend it, not only maritime, but the aircrafts. Don't let anybody get a pass in aircrafts and say they're the greatest aviator in the world that ever lived, as some are saying in their minds. Everybody must comply. Put the standards of them also. Put that standards of safety and compliance on all aeronautical vessels, all maritime vessels, and all ministers and cabinet of the government. You have to come to Papa. You must be able to justify your decisions. And you have to be able to show me why you made certain decisions. Okay? And that is why this team comprises of Guyanese and people versed in the field of Guyana. And I thank you very much for that, for bringing in locals. I was not happy with the commission of inquiry because it consisted only of foreigners. And we know more than them. The people in Guyana there, even the typical Amerindian or the people in Kaituma and in the Antarctic and Interland know more than these people are going to come and sit in judgment of what happened to our vehicles or what happened to the MV Barima. And we know what happened. The negligence, overcrowding, the recklessness, the lack of fitness, sailing without proper certification and inspections. We know what happened. So there's nothing that these five people can really tell us. And they're not there to charge anybody. They're not there to, they're just going to recommend. God be it how long now for them to come, 6 months from now. Oh, we recommend you have safety. We recommend you have transponders. We recommend you have life jackets. We recommend that you don't sail unless you have a fitness certificate. We recommend that you don't overload. We know all of that, President Ali. That is what they're going to come up with. They're going to enjoy the hospitality of Guyana, and they would have a good time. And they will sit in judgment of us. I think it's we need to do more, and you need to do more on this commission here. You got to now implement a safety and compliance order to start tomorrow. You lock down all the vessels or bring them in periodically. Allow at least 4 a day to be checked, certified, test run, and make sure that they're up to standard to avoid another tragedy like this. Because if another tragedy like this happens, that's the end of your presidency, sir. I'm telling you like it is. I've been in politics longer than you, and I've been in a place where politics is much more sophisticated than in Guyana. But if your government fails and your cabinet fails, you will be out. And I'm telling you as a friend, I'm telling you as someone who wants to see you succeed. I'm telling you as a patriotic Guyanese. And I'm telling you, you've got to put these teams, implement them immediately, and have them do their work. You have a colonel, Julius Skeet. Very good. Former Director General of the Maritime Administration, Marad. Marad is under a lot of criticism. Marad has to totally revamp itself. Marad has to make sure that they comply and they lift their standards and don't just rubber stamp anything that comes before them. Because you must make them liable criminally and civilly. Let me repeat that. If the Marad commissioners cannot stand behind their certifications and be held liable and lodge a personal bond or be assumed personal liability when they sign their terms of contract, then they can't be hired. So it's a simple thing. Put your money where your mouth is. Stand behind your work. If you're going to certify this maritime vessel or this aircraft or whatever you're going to do, your signature and your guarantee and your liability and responsibility, your money where your mouth is, must be put behind that. That's how it's done in America. That's the way people do it. You hold them accountable. Don't be afraid to do that. You want to work as maritime, you can, even if you got to pay them more. But you have to personally guarantee that you are not doing nonsense, or you're not doing recklessness, or you're not passing negligence, or you're not being spoken to by people in a way that compromise your integrity and on what you have to get done on these boats. So spread the light, brothers and sisters. Spread the light as we go through these preliminary points. I'm thanking the President for President Ali for establishing a safety and compliance audit team. I've got to give him credit for that. You got to chew gum and walk at the same time as the President. You can't only depend on a commission to bring an end to this matter or to take charge of this matter. The whole cabinet, you've got to call them and say, all of you are involved here now. I need all of you to tell me what happened. Starting from the ministers with portfolio there, with like Minister Angel and Minister Barra. And if you find that they're lacking and you have cause, and this is cause 100 and I forgot it, over 100 lives lost, is definitely cause to fire. Definitely over 100 lives caused due to your mismanagement, due to your lack of attention, due to your lack of reforms, due to your stupidity, so to speak. You gotta take leave. I'm reshuffling my cabinet, or I'm taking people out. Simple as that. I don't have a problem with that. We don't have a problem with that. You gotta start rolling heads. You gotta start letting people be accountable that you mean business. If you don't show you mean business and you are not up to scratch, they're not going to reelect you. As simple as that. They're going to feel that you got something to hide. They're going to feel that you're weak, that you're covering people up. Just like how the Barima, we're going to get to that, why this Barima ship must be brought up from the sea. We'll get to that in a few minutes, brothers and sisters. Hold your horses. Let's get to one topic one at a time. There's so many things happening. It's like, we're on a racetrack. Now, to complete what President Ali has said with a safety and compliance audit team, which I called for in the aviation and maritime vessels, the team will examine compliance with applicable maritime and aeronautical safety requirements and make recommendations to strengthen oversight, improve enforcement, and ensure that our vessels, operators, and regulatory systems meet the highest practical standards of safety and accountability. And President Ali, I want to add these words now: NOW or ASAP, as soon as possible. This must not be will examine compliance and so on to strengthen oversight, improve and improve enforcement. Now we want to have that verb, the active verb now. It does not be kicked down the road. This does not be a can that is sent down the road to the other term of office or whatever. These are reforms that demand the immediate attention of the president and Guyana and the top cabinet folks now. And that is why I advise you as a brother, President Ali, that you must, and as a senior member here, as someone who's involved in politics for some time here in the United States, and as a lawyer who has been a magistrate, a prosecutor, and a senior state counsel since the age of 23. That makes me over 50 years as an attorney, starting all the way from Guyana. That you must put your foot down. You must pull up the brake, the handbrake, and stop and say, well, here, brother, here, people, we need to revamp this system. This thing is getting too hot. It's out of control. What we need to do is to start pulling up our bootstraps. Use that term, pull up your bootstraps. You got to tighten up. You can't get 100 people dying and it's like no big deal. We've got to do better as a country. We've got to do better as a nation. We just can't say commission of inquiry, period, story done. It's not going to go away like that. That's not good politics. That's not good politicking. You've got to show the people and convince them that you're actively trying to implement and solving problems and answering situations. For example, the raising of this ship. You've got to make sure that this ferry is lifted. This ferry, if it is not brought to the surface, will be seen as a cover-up. It's pure and simple. And it will seem as an insult and a denigration of humanity to the people who lost their lives, to all of the people of Guyana, as if to say, well, the native Americans don't matter. The people there too poor to consider. You know why? Because you got another ship, the the militia. Militia sailing with people decked out in their white clothes and their white fancy tops and clothes. Cocktail-style soirees. That was a ship that was supposed to replace the embattled and embittered MV Barima. So the story is out. There was failure in the Ministry of Transportation and the ministers there to actively put that vessel to replace this coffin that we had since 1838. The floating coffin, the floating trap. As a captain of 12, the captain who was 12 years, Daniel, don't treat him like he's nobody. The man was sailing that vehicle for 12 years. And he's witness number 2, as I said, the second most important witness after the boat. And his name, for those who are going to be suing the government, and they have the right to sue or settle up with the government, we'll get to that later, is Andrew Donald. Andrew Donald. This is the man here. I respect this man. I don't know him. I've never met him. But I respect he came out after 12 years. He said, I had that vessel under my control. And it's a floating disaster waiting to occur. Not my words. Those are the words of MV Barima captain for 12 years, Andrew Donald. The same man here. Andrew Donald. He said for 12 years, I was struggling and trying my best to get this corpse or to get this floating disaster, a floating disaster waiting to occur, to save lives. He must be complimented for 12 years. But why didn't you all listen to this man for the 12 years? Why didn't the ministers who drive all these fancy vehicles and have all this fancy privilege listen to this man? Why did they try to punish him? Why was he given such a hard time when he said that people are going to die in his boat? It's a floating disaster waiting to occur. Why didn't anybody take this man seriously? Why was this brother treated like somebody to can't do this stuff? Oh, the body with he. And why is it when he got to listen to people want to load up this boat and overcrowd it and overload it and sail it, then when the blame comes on you know what hits the fan? And the fan is hit by, feces. Let's say feces. I don't want to say the wrong words here. Let's say feces hit the fan. Then they come and say, blame the captain, lock up the captain, charge the captain for murder. The captain looking for a little living, and he must have got the own little runnings. But you just can't just grab one person and said, well, we got the man here. This is the man with the problem. No, it should not be that way, brothers and sisters. So share this live, all of you. Send it to your family, send it to your people. There's a limit to how much I can talk. I can't be talking all the time. Last night I spent 4 hours on this. A lot of people appreciate it. A lot of people called me. A lot of people took me out from my time and say, you know what? We want to hear more from you. They got questions. They want to hear this. So I came back tonight. Friday night, took my own personal time to have this discussion, to share ideas with you, to uplift you, to cry with you, to pray with you, to sympathize with you, to uplift you, to find solutions. Because we are proud Guyanese Americans here in America, the world's largest diaspora. And we are patriotic Americans. Well, Rick at RIC said Frank can't simplify these people and so on. The entire structure appears so deeply interconnected that removing one person could expose a wider crooked and corrupt system. Okay. Well, let the chips fall where they may. Listen, this is 100 lives lost. Anybody else who died could be a mayhem in Guyana. So if you got to remove the people who are responsible for this, and it's a cabal, there is a group of people covering up for one another, then so be it. You sweep clean. Sweep the whole thing out clean. Well, unless it's going to go right up to your doorstep. That's another issue. That is another issue. I don't want to get into that now. But if it becomes a situation where the headmaster has to school the teachers or talk to them or have a staff meeting and move certain people around, move the chairs around, bring in technocrats, bring in experts, there's nothing stopping you from appointing a technocrat as a minister, someone who's versed, one of those people for the commissions, or somebody who has maritime training, or someone who's versed in this. There's nothing preventing you, just like how you have the Attorney General. You appointed a very brilliant lawyer and allowed to be Attorney General. Whatever people say about that, I have a lot of respect for him as a lawyer. You have technocrats and that. So why is it that you cannot have these different things going on at the same time? Huh? Why you can't have these things going on at the same time? Why you can't chew and walk at the same time? Now let's get to what the opposition leader's been asking about. Let's look at this request. The opposition leader, whatever may be his issues, he's a citizen of Guyana. I don't hold any brief for Azuddin. I hold no brief for Irfan either. I respect all of you. All of you are Guyanese living there. You know more than me. I live in America. And I've lived there since 1990. But my heart has always been with Guyana. But the issue is that if Azuddin is making an offer to you to lift the boat, then I would allow him to lift it if better can be done. If you don't want to part with the money and have an independent lift of the boat, or you're going to take 40 years for debate this in Parliament and go through this and that and all of that, you have bureaucracy, then ask Mohammed to lift the boat. Take a waiver from him that he's not going to take any money. He's doing it from a patriotic and national standpoint. He's not doing it to advance his career as opposition leader. Although if he were to do that, let's be honest, he will become a hero. So you can't stop a man if he wants to be a hero and he wants to uplift himself, that we're going to stop him from doing that. That's his right. If he wants to be a martyr, he wants to be a hero, and he wants to rule the country, everybody has a right to go there. Everybody has a right to go there as long as they were born in Guyana and they have Guyanese citizenship. And he is not any person that can be helped or can be respected. Put him to task. Say yes, but sign these waivers. You're not going to ask for money from the government. And you're going to do it of your own free will and accord. And Mr. Ashuddin Mohammed, you can lift the vessel. Lift the vessel and bring it in. But stop this nonsense. And I heard the Prime Minister, I can't understand how somebody can be at that level of government. And you were saying, you know what? We are most likely going to leave the vessel there. And then you said, oh, we're going to ask the people to tell us what to do. Since when citizens and civilians run the country? Do they tell you what to do at any time? Do you ask them? Come on. You guys don't ask them what to do in certain situations. Certainly when you all on that the wine and the liquor is flowing. When you're on the boat with the white clothes, you don't want to bring any poor people there and ask them what you think. Where's your recommendation? Come on, I know this. Everybody having a good time. Oh, them kind of people, them they say them country people or what you call them. I don't want to use the term, the B word. Then these people are low class in your mind. But in God's eyes, they're equal to all of us. All Guyanese are equal. The Constitution states that. So my issue to you is that you have to lift the vessel. Don't look for an escape route. You are looking very small in the eyes of the world. You're looking as if one is a cover up. Two, you don't want the truth to come up. Three, you don't want to find out how many people died. Four, you're scared of several lawsuits that may emanate from this. And let's start focusing on this as a lawsuit. Share the live, brothers and sisters. Share the live so I could get more people to follow my various platforms, because this is going to be a long conversation from now on going out. And I may very well have to go to Guyana to take up this case. I'm looking out to see whether the lawyers are doing it to the Bar Association. If not, I'll have to come and bring a class action lawsuit on behalf of all those people. But don't expect me from 1990 to come back and then got to refresh my mind. There's certain aspects of Guyana law I have to be guided on. Probably we'll have a team. You'll see how that works. But that's not going to be an easy fight. That's going to be a fight that exposed from top to bottom, because we're not afraid. I've gone through the worst situations here in America. I've been targeted and almost killed 3 times in America, and in Guyana also 3 times as a prosecutor. So I don't come with a very weak backbone. And the problem with a guy like me is that I'm freely spoken. I'm accustomed to freedom of speech. So if you did wrong and you did stuff and you suffered injustice like I have, I'm going to call it out. And you're going to have a problem with that. You're going to want to, silence somebody like that. So avoid people like us coming to Guyana to rock that boat. I don't mean any pun. No pun intended. Avoid people like me, Albert Baldeo, a former state prosecutor, police legal advisor, senior state counsel, and capable attorney coming to Guyana to rock that boat. Because if we're going to rock it very hard in the courts, and the man on the board agreed. And some heads are going to roll, and it's going to be exposure. I'm not scared of anybody. Now, here's what we need to get done. After you have gotten this ship to come up, you got to put it in a place like they do in America and all other countries. That put it in a place where they can fix it together. If you can't fix it together, of course, you're going to have a lot of things missing. But you'll be able to determine from that whether there were life jackets, enough life jackets, how many crew they had, what was the weight, what was the problems with the hull and the leaking, and if there was any kind of engines there, 2 engines, what was working, whether there was enough pumps to pump the water. Because I can't understand how you can run a vessel and you pumping water and this boat is going in the ocean 12 miles out. I can't understand the level of that. And then we're saying, well, we're going to be like Dubai, or we are the world's fastest growing economy, or Guyana has changed, and that we are, we are on the move. Come on, brothers and sisters. That's not how you develop a country. That's not how you make us proud. We already have Jonestown and all these bad things that talk about us. We got to come good. You can't avoid this and make this happen again. So the issue is that I wanted to mention to you that we got to bring the vessel up. There's no other explanation. It must be salvaged. And this is not a political statement. Like I said, this is a legal statement, something that must be done. You understand? Something that must always be answerable to. You hear? So what I'm saying is it should be salvaged and brought. And you got to find out when and how the water entered, whether the hull doors, windows, or compartments failed, whether the pumps and so on function, and all the cargo shifted and stuff like that. That's the first thing with bringing up this vessel, right? And then I talked about this family having to bring the lawsuit. I want to reiterate, before I bring in Mr. Gobind Harbourchan, I think he's a member. Yes, he's a member of parliament in Guyana. He has been in good contact with me. It is not that we belong to any political party, but I take questions and I take conversations from anybody because I believe in free speech, free press. I'm an attorney by training. That's how I operate. And he's also, if anybody else want to call me from the government, sure. I've had some very, very good conversations, not recently with Mr. Anil Nandalal. He's a very brilliant man. So too, I have conversations with Mr. Harbajan. I've had conversations with several people. And so it must be. We must communicate. We are here not to aggrandize each other, but we're here to help our country that gave us a birth, that gave us a life. Nothing is wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being nice to each other. Go back to the days of Cherry Jagged and Forbes Burnham and Boyce Ramcran. Those guys treated each other with dignity. Nothing is wrong with that. That's how it should be. But when you come to debate, you must have spirited debate and you must have situations where you can have a very learned discussion. So I want to talk about these things, and I don't know if Mr. Harbajani is trying to get on here. If he calls me, I don't know how to put him on. I'm new to this stuff. Let's see. He's a member of parliament, so he has all right to speak. Harbajani, do I put you on? Bring you on. Let me see if he's on here. And okay, approve. Let me approve you. Send for you to join the video, Mr. Harbhajan, saying, please, I want you to be objective. I want you to be presidential. I want you to be parliamentarian. And let's talk some views. I'm adding you to one of these here, but the rest of the folks can hear you as you speak. And I believe that is I think it's Facebook. YouTube, I haven't added anyone else. As I told you, I'm working on this. And now I'm trying to add Harbhajan, the member of parliament in Guyana. It's adding. I don't see it coming on yet. It's saying adding Harbhajan. And let me see if there's anybody else out there too. I was looking out for my friend. Pramila Singh was there, and you had B and Jagobin. How are you, sir? My neighbor from where my office is. Just share the live, folks. Share the live and ask people to join this conversation so we can have a debate. We have to have healthy debate. We have to have discussions. This is not about cussing out and fighting up and planning to, sabotage and score cheap political points. It's about how we can run this country. And every country has discussions. Look, in England and America's Congress, they do a lot of discussions there. It's not something that's done overnight or something that's very trivial. It's the most important part of democracy. So I want you all to share this live and also to talk or to send me issues here so I can address them. Let me see. There's a woman here saying that she's from Amerindian woman from Essequibo. And I thank you. I also have a daughter in the Navy. Well, you see, it's a lot of us have built America. All of us pay taxes. America is a nation of immigrants. It was built by people like me and you. So don't let anybody come and tell you you don't belong here. You're second class. Oh, my grandfather was here. It's just a matter of degree. Many of them, when they get up there to be Americans, they want to pull a ladder up. They don't want to welcome immigrants. That is why, having become a successful lawyer here, I went into politics because I wanted to equalize the situation. I saw what happened from my eyes. I didn't know that they were going to come after me in such a way to destroy me utterly because they were afraid of me. But with the grace of God, I have overcome their brutalities, their wickedness, and their evil ways. But the problem with some of us is that you get locked into this. Oh, this person is a bad person. Oh, this person is that, or this person is this. And that is a problem that we have in situations like this. So, Veronica, I'm going to invite you to co host now. I think you are on TikTok. And I don't know if you have joined yet. Let me see. I think you come. Remember, we don't want a personal attacks. We just want people to talk about this. We're now trying to go across. I'm trying to get Harbhajan on the YouTube or on Facebook, and I'm trying to get you now, Veronica Vivian, to co-host. Have you pressed there, Veronica? Anyway, you can probably dial in back and let's see if you can get you on here. Um, but share the live as we continue to talk on these issues. And as I try to get Harbhajan, I don't know if he's available. I would like to hear from him in Parliament indeed. That would be very interesting. Harbhajan, I'm trying to get you in on TikTok or which is this Facebook. I don't know if you're on TikTok, but you're called just now. Call again and I'll put you in. Um, Approve. Send request. Bring them on video. Rick, you want to join too? I don't know. I see you're coming up here. Rick Etwaru, very prominent real estate broker in this community. I don't know if you want to come in. You can ask me. Okay. So as we wait on folks to join and to come forward, and I'm not seeing my good friend who's been asking me all day when we're going to speak again, or the what's his her name? The yes, she was here last night. We had a very good conversation. So the issue here is about lifting that boat. You cannot keep a boat there and say, "Oh, we have a shrine 12 miles out on the Atlantic Ocean." Government apparently that connection failed. I don't know why. Um, Let me try again. Or if you can come in on TikTok, let's see, approve, um, send request. I'm sending request to you. You have to approve accept my request. So it's adding you now, Goben. Let's see if you're able to come on. It says adding you. And like I said, Goben Harbhajan is a member of parliament. Very nice man, very open-minded man, very down-to-earth man. And he calls it as it is. I would like to speak to anybody who wants to come on here, especially if you have something to do with this administratively, politically, you're in the decision making, you're in parliament, you're in the courts, you have some kind of basis here on which to, you know, on which to talk or exchange ideas, and let us talk about this. Um, so let's give some time for him. But the connection says it's failed.